Hi everyone, I'm Zane from the OSU-Tulsa Library. In this video, we're going to talk about using the library for marketing and business research, and we're going to explore a couple of search examples so you can see how our databases work. These examples should help you as you begin your exploratory research proposals 1 and 2. If you're a Tulsa-based student, you will follow me along with these instructions to our databases A to Z list, and if you're a Stillwater student, you can use the database A to Z list at the Edmond Lowe Library in Stillwater to access the same databases we're going to look at today. So to get started, we're going to visit the Tulsa Library website, tulsa.okstate.edu/library. On the library homepage, right away you'll see a couple of things. Right now we have links to upcoming workshops and fall textbooks, and then you will see a big search box that links to our catalog. Below the search box on the homepage, you'll see a list of quick links. I want to point out a couple of these before we talk about databases. If you need help finding what you're looking for, need to chat with a librarian, or make a research appointment, click on the Ask a Librarian page. If you need a space to study for you or for a group, click on the Book of Study Room page to reserve a space. A little further down the page, you will find our hours, as well as research tools and resources. We do have laptops and other technology available to check out through our Tech2Go program, so do come and talk to us if you need technology to use for your classes. More resources and tools are available to browse through this link. Now I'm going to draw your attention to the A to Z Databases quick link. This is where you want to go for your business research. We're going to click this link and it takes us to a page that links to all the databases we have access to, with our most popular databases listed here on the right-hand side. As you can see, we have many databases to choose from, and it can be really overwhelming if you don't know where to go. If you click on the All Subjects drop-down menu, you will see a subject labeled Business. I'm going to click that business subject, and now you'll see that we have a smaller list of databases to choose from. These databases have been hand-selected by librarians because they have relevant information pertaining to the field of business. And then your best bets are here at the top of the page as well. If you are in Stillwater and you're on the Edmond Lowe Library's database A to Z page, you'll notice this page is very similar and also has a business subject menu. You shouldn't have any trouble accessing the databases, but if you do, please reach out to us and we can get you pointed in the right direction. Going back to the Tulsa A to Z list here, you can read each description to get an idea of what each database offers and explore on your own, but for this session I'm just going to show a few examples that will focus on searching for scholarly and trade business literature, statistical reports, and other information that will be relevant to you for your research proposal assignment. We're going to briefly look at ABI Inform, Business Source Elite, Mergent Online, and Statista. Let's start with ABI Inform. This is a ProQuest database that has a lot of great search features. Notice here on this advanced search page, you can search by company and even look up NAICS codes. You can narrow your search to peer-reviewed articles and also narrow by source type or document type. For now, we're going to start with a broad, basic search, and we will narrow it down once we see our set of results. If I'm interested in college students' awareness and perceptions of luxury brands, I might start with a broad search like college students and luxury brands. This "and" is what we call a Boolean operator, and it's going to narrow my search to articles and resources that contain both of these terms or phrases. Most databases use Boolean operators and, or, and not, so that you can expand and narrow your search. So if I click search, this search gives me 69 results here, which is a pretty narrow search. I can see a few articles that I might be interested in already, such as luxury perceptions, the picture of luxury, and then drivers of attitudes and luxury brands. So I might start with that. If I click on one of these articles here, I can see that I can access the full text over here on the left, which will pull up my entire article. I also see that I can download the article, cite the article, or copy the URL so I can come back to the article more quickly later. Clicking on the PDF, this brings up the entire PDF so I can download it or print it pretty quickly. So going back to my results list, so I like some of these articles, but I might want to broaden my search a bit. Maybe I want to look at luxury brands, luxury goods, luxury products, or just general luxuries. If I modify my search here, I can put an asterisk behind the word luxury here in place of that ending, and that will turn the end of this word into kind of a wild card that will pull in more than just the previous term I had, which was luxury brands. And then if I do my search, this broadened my results quite a bit. I went from results in the 60s to results in the 800s. And now I can see that I have other articles to choose from as well. Notice on the left side of the page, I have limiters. I can limit by peer-reviewed article. I can limit by source type, publication date, and so on. Finding the right articles for your research is really about playing with keywords and different search strings connected by these Boolean operators and or and not to see what you get. Sometimes you might need to broaden your search, and sometimes you may need to narrow things down. It depends on what you're looking for. Another nice thing about this database is I can search for company profiles and SWOT analyses of different public companies. So I'm going to do a search for the Nike Incorporated company profile. Typically, the most recent report available will pop up toward the top of the list. So this one looks pretty recent, 2023. I can click this report and open the PDF. And now I can see that I can access this full report of this company profile and SWOT analysis for Nike. I can download the full report, and in it I can see that it has annual financials, industry competitors, and a SWOT analysis. This would be helpful if I were wanting to look at companies in a certain industry and compare them to each other. This is important because often when you try to look up these reports online, just on the web, you might find the reports, but they'll probably be behind a paywall. So if you access them through our library databases, you don't have to pay for the report, which is great. I can also do similar searches in other databases and compare them to see what I get. Let's move back to our A to Z business page and then move into Business Source Elite, which is another database option. This database is a little different, and it's hosted by EBSCO. It contains a lot of different features and filters for your searching, and it looks a little different than the one we just looked at, but it is similar in a lot of ways. We start at this advanced search page where you can narrow your search down to peer-reviewed articles. Again, you can narrow by document type. You can also search by NAICS or industry code or DUNS number, which is similar to what we saw in ABI Inform. Many of these databases have similar search functions, even if the interface looks a little different, and it's important to search in multiple databases because one database might have an article that the other one doesn't. So if you're not finding what you need in one database, try another one or talk to a librarian for help. I can do a similar search for college students and perceptions of luxury goods. For this search, I'm going to use my Boolean operator OR to expand my search a bit. So I have college students or young consumers, luxury brands or luxury goods, perceptions or attitudes or opinion, and I can see that I have several results here. Looking at these subjects, I can see that this database likes the term young consumers. It does use the term luxuries, and what I put here was luxury brands or luxury goods. So I might try to use this term instead and see if that expands my results. So once again, I'm going to edit my search here and add an asterisk to the end of luxury to pull in other ends of that word. So I went from 64 results to 77 results, and I like this set of results. So I'm going to scroll a little bit and look at these and see what's interesting to me. So say I'm interested in this article, The Determinants of Personal Luxury Purchase Intentions in a Recessionary Environment. I can click on the title, and it will take me to a landing page where I can look at the associated subject terms and author-supplied keywords, which may be important to note if I want to search for related articles. I can access the full PDF over here on the left side of the page, and I also have these tools on the right side of the page where I can save, email, or cite this article. I can save to the cloud, email the article to myself. I can also click this permalink option here, and it will take me to a link that takes me right back to this exact page so I can quickly access it later. So I can save that link and store it if I don't want to immediately download the PDF and save it. And so if I click on the PDF full text option, I can see that I can very quickly download or print the article from here. Other things about Business Source Elite. I can also once again search for a specific company, and I'm going to keep my earlier example and search for Nike. And so up toward the top here is this market line company profile for Nike. This is actually a newer report than the one I saw earlier from 2023. This one is from May of this year. And so I can click on the title or click on the full text PDF to open up the document. And here I can see this entire 80-page market line profile. This company profile gives a large overview as well as a SWOT analysis and competitor information. Again, this information might not be free elsewhere, so it's great that you can access it through the library databases. Going back to my results list here, toward the top of the page, there's also this button called Company Profiles. And if I click that, I can get into this place where I can look at market line reports for several different public companies. And so I can search for a company here and get the market line report for that company. This is really great if you want to pull up different companies and then compare them to each other. You can also search for industry reports, which might be helpful to you in your research. If I do a search for apparel industry and report, up at the top here I have two reports for women's and girls apparel and then men's and boys apparel. with their corresponding NAICS codes. It looks like, though, we have this option to request through interlibrary loan, and that means that we don't actually have access to this report. And so what I can do is I can request this through interlibrary loan and get it from another library. I can also check to see if we have access to this report in another database. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this title here, and I'm going to pull up ABI Inform again that we looked at earlier, and I'm going to search for this report and see if I can access it this way. So it looks like I can access this report through ABI Inform, which is great. So if I click on the full text PDF, now I can see this 2024 Industry and Market Report from Barnes Reports for this industry. And once again, this is not a free report if you search for it online, but it is free to you through the database, which is great. So to reemphasize, if you can't find something in one database, try another, and don't be afraid to ask a librarian for help. And if you need help citing your report, or help with saving an article or a report to a citation manager like Zotero, you can visit us at the library and we will help you with that as well. Okay, I'm going to quickly show two more databases before we wrap up, Mergent Online and Statista. Let's go back to our databases list and click on Mergent Online. This database has a much different interface than the other two we looked at, but has similar search capabilities and is a great database for companies and financial reports. I can do a basic search or a more advanced search, and I can search by SIC, NAICS code, stock exchange information, and so on. So sticking with our example, I'm going to type in Nike and click on Nike Inc. This page gives me a lot of information. I can see key financials here. I can click all of these different tabs to view company financials, annual reports, filings, competitor information, company reports, and so on. This database will be very helpful to you if you are comparing company information. But if I really want more industry information, I'm going to want to look at Statista. So once again, going back to my A to Z list, I'm going to click on Statista. So this database is also set up differently than the others, with different filter options and different search options. This is great for searching for industry and market reports. So maybe I want to once again look at the women's apparel industry. So a quick search for women's apparel gives me many results, and at the top here I see a pretty recent option for US apparel market statistics and facts. I also have options on the side here for refining my search by content type, in which I can look at stats, reports, market insights, and so on. I can also filter by location, by industry, or by tags. If I click on this top search result here, I can access statistics and facts about the apparel market. There's also a report over here on the side. If I click on this, I can download the full report for the apparel market in 2023, and I can see that this is valued at almost $500, and this is free for you to download as a student through our databases. But again, this may not be free for you elsewhere, so you'll want to make sure you access it here. This report includes statistical information for different areas, and some data span several years. So if I wanted to know how the retail market has been doing as far as sales from 2017 to 2023 for my research proposal, I can see that that information is included in this report. The last thing I want to point out about this database is the Reports tab. I can go to Reports, and then I can go to Industry and Market Reports and search in this area as well. If I type in luxury brands, I get many results. I can narrow things down by country. So maybe I want to narrow down to United States and make sure I'm looking at things that are only US based. And I can see that I have 8 results for US based luxury items. Maybe I want to look at this luxury goods in-depth market analysis. And I can see that this includes trends, drivers, opportunities, challenges, and so on. And again, this is a very high value that you get for free through the library. So lots of different ways to search and lots of different options for statistics, reports, market insights, and so on. So we've covered quite a bit here. We've looked at 4 different databases, and we've looked at how to find relevant articles in the literature for your research proposals, and also how to find relevant market and industry reports. These are just 4 databases of many. They are a great place to start. But remember, every database is different and has something unique to offer, and so make sure you take the time to go explore on your own. It's a good idea to download reports from various databases and information providers and compare them. Check out the Library Business Research Guide, as well as the handout for your class for our top recommendations for databases and searching. If you can't find what you need, or if you need help with research or citations, visit the Ask a Librarian page to ask a question via chat, send an email or text, or book a research appointment.